Hello everyone, I just wanted to take a few minutes to show you how you can pull information from MAP to fill out this student MAP data talk. My recommendation is that you just use the student profile. You can pull this information from other places, but I think this is actually a good thing to even show the student. You can pull this up during your meeting with the kid and go over it with them. So you'll fill in the appropriate information. In this case, we're going to do Ms. Chavez from Anaheim Hills. And it's going to have all the information that you need for the data talk profile right here. You can flip between math and reading, and first information is the RIT score, which is displayed prominently right here. And then you're going to look at the percentile score, which is the achievement score that you're looking at right over here. Student might have a growth metric as well, depending on if they'd taken a previous test with you or not. One thing to mention about the growth metric, so this is in comparison to students at the same starting point. So Ms. Chavez here, she's historically probably been at a lower level of achievement as well. And then compared to her peers, she is growing in the 22nd percentile. So she's not quite growing at the same rate, even of students starting at the same achievement level as her. So that's not compared to all her peers, but to her peers from the same relative starting point. This is an important distinction to make. So for the percentile here, you're going to be focusing on their achievement percentile. And then for the test duration, you can look right here. I can see, wow, okay, you took this test in 22 minutes. That might be a big part of the story here. Although fascinatingly enough, only a 2% rapid guessing. So she somehow managed to thread the needle almost perfectly and just long enough for most of the questions, but not really long enough to get a high score here, which is really, honestly, pretty interesting results. So then you can take these numbers. You don't need to put these numbers into these subcategory scores, but what you should do instead is mark whether they are high or low, or what's an area of strength or weakness, or if there's a relative comparison. You might say that these are kind of in the same range as each other. My rule of thumb is about a 10-point difference is pretty significant. So from statistics to operations here, we do see that there's a 10-point difference. I would probably list this as a relative weakness, and I would list this as a relative strength. So I could just go ahead into these boxes here, put weakness and strength. And then, you can talk to the student about their action plan. That's the same as in the past. But I do want to actually talk about their math goal or their reading goal. And there's a cool little tool that you can use right here by clicking on this, customizing their growth target. And it will kick you right on over. And what it will do is you can set a goal for when you want. So you're going to change it to spring because we don't generally test in the winter. And it's going to say, hey, if you are making a pretty normal growth percentile, you want to grow like at the 50th percentile, or in this case, the 48th percentile, then you're going to need to get 4 points. And maybe she's like, well, I really would like to kind of start moving toward out of the red, so I'm going to be ambitious, and I would like to make my goal, 6 points. So you can do that, and they'll say, great, that means that, you would be at the 15th percentile of growth for your peers, and you'd be kind of tracking against that average right there, so it kind of makes that projection. So you can help the student make a target, right? I want the target to be 206. That's what it's looking like. And maybe she comes along and she's like, I'm going to score 215 next time. And you'd say, well, that's certainly possible. 215 would get you into the orange category. Looks like about 7% of kids, right? That inverse of 93 percentile, managed to accomplish that goal. So that's a very, very ambitious goal, but if you want to make that goal, that could be something that we work towards. So this little tool here, you can fiddle with it, but it's a neat way of having the student interactively be able to set their goals for the spring. If you have other questions, go ahead and send me a message anytime you need to. I'm available on Teams or by email, Nicholas Henning, and Henning at FusionAcademy.com. Thanks, everyone. Bye.